as well as
That's crazy. How did all of a sudden it just popped up like that? Huh?
I think it's a feature they put in so that people can't get on that don't belong on.
Well, who
Yeah.
put it in?
I think Zoom just started it up.
Yeah, it's a Zoom issue. It's an issue on here as well, which I thought maybe it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
You literally have to know everybody that's coming on.
Yeah, she's
Well, I won't today because I don't know everybody's
I
camera.
know. Anybody could sneak on.
I'm just letting them all in.
No easy pass. Just come in.
No easy pass.
the meeting's gonna be in one, right?
Yeah, if you want to just go to one.
No, I'm in the pressing board.
Baby, what's the matter with you, baby?
Okay, I think this is probably as good as it's gonna get it.
This is my firstborn.
Look just like you. Whose is that?
Kevin? Say Uncle Kevin? No, I didn't say laugh. I said say Uncle Kevin. I didn't say baby, okay? You cut it out now, okay? Go back to your mommy.
Watch how quick this ends when Bob comes on. This is the meeting link, right?
Yeah, you're in the right one, Kev.
Okay, thank
That's the
you.
actual meeting. Okay, I think we're good. Good luck, Maura. I wish you well.
I'll get you back one day, Rob.
Enjoy. Meanwhile, I'm going to see if I can get two computers to face each other correctly.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Oh, jeez. Look at Matt. Is that a girl, Matt fan, or who is that? Howard Johnson?
Oh, good grief.
Uh-oh, here comes Cleo. Oh, jeez.
Coming in like crazy.
Oh, here comes Patty. Oh, jeez.
What's wrong with me, Billy?
Nothing's wrong with you. Uh-oh, here comes Charlie.
Why,
Oh, jeez.
why did you say, oh, jeez, here
Oh, jeez.
comes
Okay.
Patty?
That's a good thing. Oh, jeez.
Good God.
More, are you hosting?
I am.
Okay, because for some reason it doesn't list you. Not that that's a problem.
Says Maura host, me. Oh, Lisa, that mask is not doing you any good. That's better.
Oh, Lord.
Got it. Okay, muting now.
The class went well.
Okay.
We looked at some more videos on
Okay.
tapping.
Awesome.
Long time no see, Kavi.
Maura, are you there?
Yep.
Okay, because I can't hear a thing. It's so quiet.
No, I was enjoying.
Wow.
She has the power. Like I have the power.
Not right now, you don't.
I know now I don't, but before I had the power,
And you will have it again.
I know I will have it again.
Of course you will.
The power of muting.
So Maura, we just did some earlobe massage and our ears, to massage our ears.
Oh,
Yes,
my.
quite lovely.
Are your ears very relaxed now?
Isn't there a song about the ears?
Do your ears hang low?
I knew you would know it.
Do they wobble to and fro?
Say shiny.
Nice. What?
Shiny.
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 Oh boy. Admit, 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 admit all. I'm frankly a little surprised that there's not more people on.
Yeah.
Usually by now it's pretty packed.
Hi, good morning. It's Celia. I just joined in.
Hi, Delia.
Oh, hello.
Hi, nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you. I was just talking to Susan.
Oh, are you? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
She misses the program so much.
She looks good. She looks good, and she was very involved with the class.
Yeah, she does well on Zoom.
Oh, she loves it. She loves it. She especially likes the cooking.
Oh. Well, we had her stretching and exercising this morning.
Oh, good, good. You know,
Yeah.
she's sick, right?
No.
She'd had issues with her back, and I think is from the 6 months of just sitting
Oh,
in the same wheelchair, and it was too tight because she's gained weight. And well, we did everything. We even examined kidneys and bladder. Just, you got to rule out everything.
Yeah.
sure,
Turned
sure,
out to be
sure.
muscular.
Well, she looked very good this morning. She looked bright and healthy.
Good. She is.
Yeah,
And
and
she-
alert.
Oh, that's always. He's always alert. Thank God.
Yeah.
We got a pen.
Oh, there's Laura. I haven't seen Laura in a long time.
Right. Hi, Laura.
Hey,
Hi, guys.
there's Laura's famous wave.
All right.
How are you, Laura?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How's your son?
Great. Great.
Hey, Charlie.
Hi, Charlie.
Okay. Just checking. Just checking.
Who brought the tea?
Hi, Laura.
Oh, Billy. Billy, hi.
Hi.
Celia, how are you?
Good to see you, always. How's my buddy?
Oh, she's wonderful. She's good. Anxious to get back. That's something.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody, yep.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Oh, this waiting room is going to kill me.
Where are you, Maura?
I'm at home.
Okay.
Maura, Alyssa, say hi.
Hi.
Who is that? Who's talking?
Oh, it's Lindsay from the center.
Hi, Alyssa.
Hey, Delia, we can see you.
Hi. How are you?
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, everybody.
Sharon.
Hi, everyone else.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, there's the waiting room. Jeez Louise.
You're doing good, Maura. You're handling it well.
For Maura. It's the most work she's done in a while.
Stop it. It is not.
Stop, Billy. Stop picking on
Only
my
somebody who didn't do their share would say that.
That's how, you're absolutely right. I don't care what Patty says.
Stop picking on my Mora.
Okay.
I take you back, Mora.
Thank
You
you.
know we love her.
Laura, I'm in your happy place.
Oh, where? What hotel?
It's a condo part of Royal Atlantic.
Oh, one of those big things? One of those,
Yeah, it's really
yeah.
nice.
It's nice.
Yeah, beautiful. Actually, it's really beautiful.
We were thinking of doing that eventually with the kids.
Hey,
Yeah,
Charlene.
it has 2 bedrooms
Hi, Charlie.
downstairs, and then the sofa opens up.
Nice.
Hey, Stan. What's up, buddy?
Just so that everybody knows, there's now a waiting room that Zoom has put out. So I have to admit people into the meeting, and it's not easy.
Are we getting a good crowd?
Yeah, so far.
53.
Good. 50, that's not great.
No.
I mean, that's why you get the big bucks, Mora.
Of course. You know it.
Maura has a nice waiting room. She has tea, cookies, and magazines.
Yes.
Fantasy Island.
Oh,
There's Bob Masterson. Melissa.
very tricky.
Win-win, Wendy.
Hi.
Hi, Mama. You look so refreshed.
She does.
It's all a facade.
Good morning, everyone. We'll just give it one more minute. We have 61 participants.
Hi, Melissa.
Hey, Patty.
I sent you an email. Did you get it?
Is it through Facebook?
No, on your email.
Oh, no, I don't think I did.
Karen, just so you know, there's now Zoom imposed the waiting room on us. We can't disable it.
I'm sorry, say that again, Maura?
Zoom disabled the option to unenable the waiting room. So I have to let people in one at a time.
Really?
Yeah, it's a bit of a pain.
More of a safety feature so that no one can just randomly come on.
Yeah.
They got smart. People have been crashing Zoom calls because they don't have a life.
Yeah, right?
Patty, I didn't get it, so try sending it again, okay?
Okay, thank you for letting me know.
Absolutely.
Thanks for showing up.
Oh, here comes another one. Incoming.
Okay, so we have 70 people. Perhaps the letter actually jarred people to get on the call. It's like a scan of, I actually love when I see faces as opposed to just phone numbers. Bob, you got up this morning early.
You didn't go to bed yet.
All right, so we have Celia, it's nice to see you. Love that Stan and Veronica have their own calls there. All right.
His and hers.
I'm in Montauk and he's in Florida.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. All right. So, oh, that's why you said you were in Maura's happy place.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Mine too.
All right. So, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
Before we get into our current events, so why don't we get started with Sharon? We'll talk about the day program.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
So in the day program, we're continuing to increase our numbers. I am very happy to say, thank you to everybody. We're at 208 now, and that's not with all of the final numbers for this week. So that's really like, you know, last week's numbers. I don't have all the numbers for this week yet. So hopefully that's even a little bit higher. I'll let each,
How many attending a day actually coming physically?
no, these are
No, I
total.
know. I'm asking,
How many
I'm
people?
asking
Oh, how many are actually coming physically? The same as last week. I don't remember. What was that, like 50?
You're up to 51 earlier.
Yeah, so I think that's the same. I can check that
Okay.
number. I don't know exactly.
All right, that's fair.
Okay. But, you know, I'll let each coordinator talk about their program, but, you know, there were some very nice, fun activities going on. And hopefully that's also incentive to, for people to be returning to program. So I'll leave it at that. And whoever wants to go first.
Melissa, you want to go?
Sure. Hi. So last week we increased our numbers by 4. We started 1 additional person in program returning, and we had 3 additional in-home services, all going really well. And so we're real excited about that. This week we're looking to start doing some fun things with Zoom and try some color wars and things like that, and amping up our activities on Zoom. So if you have someone in Sitebase, look forward to that, because we'll be shooting out, excuse me, some new activities going on that should be fun starting next week.
Jose Rivera reported that Tracy has a niece who works at another agency. And
Tracy Daptig is our assistant coordinator in quality assurance.
QA. At any rate, I'm sorry for not further identifying her, but her niece was working in a residence, not one of ours, and looking at the Zoom that one of the residents was participating in, and was extraordinarily impressed by the content and by the engagement. So I just thought everyone should hear that. And I don't think that Tracy knew whether it was they have or life options, so you can all feel good.
Okay. Thanks, Melissa. Wakina?
Hi, so since we last met last week, Tuesday, we have 5 individuals attending day program between Zoom and in person. We have 1 additional person this week, which I believe brings our numbers to 51 present. And we had our picnic last week, which was a really good time. The participants enjoyed it. The staff enjoyed it. We had games, tug of war. We did everything with social distancing. So that was actually great to see it. Everyone stayed within their clusters. We had people, you know, play games, apply gloves. We had our items sanitized, and we did everything in the safest manner possible. And so we're very happy about the outcome of the picnic, and we look forward to our October events that we're working on.
Thanks, Wakina. Nadine? You have to unmute, Nadine.
Okay, everything remains stable here at Oceanside. We continue to provide services on Zoom, in-home, and in person. Our numbers are consistent, and currently we're working on bringing a few more individuals into our program. And just like the other programs, we continue to do a lot of fun activities with the individuals. The staff have science projects that they've been working on with the individuals. So the family members are happy with the services, as well as the individuals are contented as well.
Nice.
How many people are coming daily, Nadine?
We have 5 that is actually in program, but we are, within this month, we're supposed to have about 8 people. So we're working out the details of that right now.
Okay, thank you. Jasmine, are you there? Jasmine's not there. Anything to report, Sharon, from Wantagh?
No, nothing. Everything is status quo there.
Okay.
The only individuals not attending or not participating are those that live in residences, so outside residences. So they're capturing everyone that they can.
Thank you. All yours.
Really?
Superbloom.
Well, I think we should really go right to the letter, don't you, Karen?
Everybody received?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody did receive, we're up to 90 participants, so I'm assuming that we've got a little bit, a few more people. So if you read in the letter, we thought that it was important not just to say that we have a loss of $500,000 pending in our residential program, but that unfortunately it's another $500,000 that we have the potential of losing with the new cuts. That when the letter was written on Wednesday, the CMS had not yet approved it. And unfortunately, if anybody's news or heard about it, it was approved yesterday. CMS did approve it. So effective today, that means that we're not going to receive the vacancy rate, which for us is going to total about $120,000. And effective immediately, effective today, everybody that goes home overnight to a parent's house, a friend's house, camp, wherever they're not on site, that we're only going to get paid 50%. And we talked about that, and the state call this morning, Sue Constantino, the executive director, basically, reinforced again the same thing that we've been talking about for a while, is that when you go on vacation, you're not calling your bank and saying, don't bill me for 2 weeks because I'm going to be in Europe, and let's turn off all the utilities. And so our bills remain the same, and our staffing pattern remains the same. Because if one person is gone, you're not telling somebody you can stay home now and take away somebody's livelihood. And very frankly, if you're staffing for 6, you're staffing for 5, it's the same number. So that's going to be a significant loss. The other loss is if somebody goes into a hospital, effective immediately the first day, only receiving 50% of the daily rate. And on day 97, for both the home leave and a hospitalization or a nursing home or rehab, we receive nothing. So, yeah. So obviously that's a disincentive for people to go home now. We hope everybody stays well. Hospitalizations are not a choice. And it's that totaling the retainer day and the therapeutic day, we're talking about another $500,000, and we had $500,000 that we were already projecting. We felt it was very important, as we discussed last week, not just to say to you $500,000, but what does that look like? How does that play out? You can't continually absorb losses and expect services to remain the same. We prided ourselves in the agency to be doing person-centered planning and about choice way before it became the OPWDD mandate or cliche. Not that they practice it, but they mandate that we practice it. But if you have limited number of staff in the house, does everybody have the same choice of when they want to get up? Does everybody have the same choice of when they want to go to bed? Does everybody have the ability to all eat at the same time? If 3 or 4 people need to be fed, they can't do it independently. That line up people that need to go to use the facilities. Transportation is going to be an issue. How do we afford to have a van per vehicle, per house? And there are significant luxuries that we might have had. We augment clothing allowance because the clothing allowance that OPWDD gives is not very extensive. Well, we gave $17,000 of agency's money to augment clothing allowance. How are we supposed to afford to do that? And the biggest hit, obviously, because 75% of our budget is staffing, the biggest hit is our staffing. And it was detailed in yesterday's letter, the staff that were let go or a reorganization within the agency to tighten our belts. And we're hoping that that's going to be the end of it. But that's why the fight is still there. We want this to be the end of it. We want to actually undo what's been done. And I think Bob, if anybody has any questions at this point, I think we should stop periodically And just, it's a lot of information. It's very disheartening. I'm delighted to see that there are 93 people on this participating as of right now, because there's action to be taken. So we're going to be spending the beginning of this session as to what has happened, where we are. Bob is going to talk about the pending lawsuit that's coming down the pike. And then we're going to be talking about action steps, because we need to act and we need to act now. So does anybody have any questions? Is there anything in the chat, Maura? There's 13 things.
Not yet. No, one new message. Wait a minute. I don't understand the message.
Okay. No questions?
It says, I don't know if I got that, but I don't know what you're referring to, Trish.
Okay, Trish, you know what? If there's something that you want to talk about, you can always talk to somebody. I don't want to rehash everything that we just said, but it is important that you understand it. So we might have to do that one-on-one, okay?
I think she's talking about the letter that you're referring to.
Oh, the letter. Okay, so the letter, this letter specifically went out to families, friends, and advocates. We're in the process of sending a very similar letter to staff. We wanted to make sure, wanted to see what was happening, but we wanted you guys to get something for this call. So staff will also be getting a very specific letter. And we needed to do, very frankly, the layoffs had to occur on Wednesday before it became public knowledge. And the same thing with our program participants. So everybody will get something. Everybody will get something, and it's coming out momentarily.
I'll just pick up for a moment on the layoffs. So in the letter, it refers specifically to the residential, but we also reduced our school by 15 staff Wednesday also, as the preschool program's enrollment is down, and there's no reason to think in this moment, this environment, that it's going to rebound. Generally speaking, we go up and down like a roller coaster, and we can anticipate and predict enrollment. Well, we can predict this enrollment also, and our prediction is it's going to stay down. So losing over $1 million in income in our school, we needed to reduce because of the lack of enrollment, therefore the lack of reimbursement. We needed to reduce our expenses similarly. Some of you know, in the day program already for the last several months, they've been operating -2 managers. And that is on hold, as is all of our hiring at this time, in order to have a balance between our income and our expenses so that we get through this storm and get out the other side. So those cuts occurred Wednesday. As Karen said, we're hopeful that we understand the financial climate and we're able to manage going forward with the workforce that we currently have. That's our plan, that's our hope. The lawsuit that Karen referred to was approved by NIDA Tuesday, I believe it was, and therefore was supposed to be handed into the courts yesterday, but the lawyers want to and need to have people who are hurt by these cuts. And you might say, isn't that us? And I would say, I think it is, but you're not hurt in the immediate. So the cuts are going to cause agencies, and they have examples of this already, when they're reviewing and screening someone for placement, if that individual has a history of hospitalizations, agencies are going to shy away from taking that individual into their residential program. From a purely financial position, meaning if I know someone for the last 5 years has been in the hospital episodically and can pretty much predict that they're going to be in the hospital 1, 2, or 3 months each year, well then I can't afford to take that person into my residential program. Those are the people that are immediately hurt, and the attorneys are having them sign on so that they are able to show the specific damage to these individuals. They believe, did Ed Matthews say they had 3 families?
Yes.
Yeah, so Ed Matthews this morning, he's the exec of CP New York City, and very active in the NIDA aspect with the lawsuit, reported that they've identified 3 very credible families with the characteristics that the lawsuit requires. And so hopefully, not today, that early next week, it actually will be given to the court. There is difference of opinion as to whether or not this is a lawsuit that can be won. But as I've shared with you in the past, if we don't do this, we sit dormant, and we need to show this governor that we mean business. Jose Rivera, most of you know, was sharing with Karen and I his experience in the whole Willowbrook outcome. Jose, if you don't know, and his family were leaders, even though Jose was a young kid at the time, but they were leaders in the family efforts to have the state be recognized for their failure. And what he said was part of what put them over the top was bringing in the community, churches, organizations, to join with them and support their protests. And I shared with the CP State execs this morning, Jose's education that he provided us. And yesterday, what I've asked Pat Quinn to do was identify all the churches and synagogues in our community, the heads of each of them. And I'm not sure whose idea it was, but I think it's a good one, so I'll say it's mine.
Service organizations, yeah.
Yeah, and service organization. What was that we have many of our staff who are very active in their churches, and they would be better spokespeople. And some of them are speakers in their churches and leaders in their churches. So we're going to be reaching out to our staff and ask them if they would be willing to join with us or do it on their own with some training and education that we might be able to give them some greater details, to go out to their parishioners and say, we need your help, and expand our family and our staff's input in this matter to the community at large. And one of the things that sometimes the governor forgets is that we are a business. And when we have a residence in a town, those staff shop in that town. They give money to the delicatessen and maybe the barber, maybe the cleaners. So we are a vital part of the business cycle. And hurting us like this and causing people to lose their jobs are a responsibility that this governor has not faced up to yet. But if we were able to get our community to be part of the support that harasses this governor into recognizing that he needs to be responsible and needs to come to the table and stop hurting us. So I am going to go to Cooperstown on the 14th and 15th of October, not because I want to, but there's a CP State exec meeting that I generally attend by Zoom. However, I need to look at the execs in the eye to say, what are you doing? Why aren't you out there? Why aren't you getting your families to participate? We need to be doing a much, much, much better job. Some people are still calling the rally of 2 weeks ago highly successful. And anytime that I hear it, I say, not my opinion. The other day, NIDA put out something that there were 200 cars that counted Albany and Staten Island. Now, I don't know how many cars were in Staten Island, but I was told there were less than 10 in Albany. And I know that we said there were 100 on the Tappan Zee Bridge, but you may recall I also said if there were 100, there was not 101. There might have been 90, and there might have been 100, but that's not resounding. Were there 100 vehicles on Staten Island? I wasn't there, I don't know. So I don't call this a success at all. And some of the people that were part of this will say, yeah, but it was our first time. And that's baloney. We've been in this a long time, and to fall back on this was our first time, that's just nonsense. And I believe the executive directors have failed, including me, in getting families to recognize that we need you. And our staff too, we need you. This will not be won by executive directors. It'll be won if our families, our community, our staff are all recognizing the WIFM. WIFM is what's in it for me. Well, for our staff, it's their job. For our families, it's their family members' well-being. For our participants that we take care of, it's their well-being. There's a whiff amount for everybody in this.
So there are a couple of questions in the chat.
Okay.
Lisa G said, when are the residents coming back to program at CP Nassau? Because she's going to be in a residence soon. And Kevin said the letter said who to call, but the messaging was unclear. You only get so much time you get to speak when you call the government.
Just that, Karen?
Okay. Particularly the governor has a quick soundbite for a message, both in writing and his calls. So if you're leaving a message for the governor, if you're not speaking to a representative and you're speaking, it needs to be quick, couple of sentences, make your point, tell him you're a constituent, tell him you're a program, an individual, whoever it is, this is what your issue is, that you need to pay attention and you need to get on board and assist people with developmental disabilities. It doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to be complicated. His written communication is the same. So I will talk about it in the action steps when I talk, so I'll answer more about that when I talk about the action steps. Maura, is there another question in the chat?
Lisa just wants to know when the residences will be going back to program because she's going to be moving soon.
Okay, as of right now, we didn't get a crystal ball between our last call and this call. We have the same issue with the residential, with the residents going home. Families want to take their residents home. Our doctor is saying no. And as of right now, I don't know if any agency is sending their residential program. I'm not saying that everybody's not, but we're not aware of any agency that's sending their individuals who live in congregate care back to program. Now, if anybody's listening to the news, you're listening to certain zip codes are rising. Is that the resurgence? Is that isolated? We don't know yet, but we don't want to be one of those zip codes. We don't want to be part of that. We've been, thank God, on a good streak right now. We've had a couple of hiccups, as we've been calling them, but they've been coming back negative.
With
So,
one exception.
one person at Bayville.
One person in Bayville tested positive about 10 days ago. I think they
Sunday, they were all
were on quarantine on Sunday. So the point being that it hasn't gone away even in our community. We're still seeing, even though it might be with just one forced quarantine of 40-odd residents. And we're trying to avoid not only doing quarantine, but also we want to keep people healthy. So that's where we are at this point.
Okay. Lisa McElreevy said, I agree that the mobile rally was not a success because it did not change the outcome. Andrew is affiliated with 2 other agencies through residential and respite. I get the most of my information from CP Nassau.
All right, thanks for the feedback, Lisa. I agree with Bob 100% that it was not a success. You can give a lot of excuses, but we don't need to belabor that point. We need to learn from it and go forward. As far as that it's not a success, so it did not, because we still got the cuts, that leap I would not make because it takes our voice over and over and over again. And that again is going to be part of the action plan that I'm going to be talking about. One rally is not going to move them, but if it's all of the action steps pulled together across New York State, that's the impact that we're looking for. So the rally's just one.
Forgive me, and I would say, Lisa, I agree with you. It's the outcome that we're looking for, and we didn't get it.
Yeah.
So now what else do we need
I think
to do?
Karen's right. If we had 10,000 cars in Staten Island and the bridge in Albany, we would have gotten their attention. So I think the rally failed.
Anything else?
Yes, how can we touch our neighboring communities as far as like Roosevelt and Merrick, other than like online situations? Because as simple as dropping off flyers in a library or a store, because you'd be surprised how many people don't even know that CP exists in Roosevelt.
Yeah, Billy, I think you're right. That's why we want to reach out to the community organizations, including the churches, and see if we could have an opportunity to speak either on Zoom or actually go to their parishes and be able to speak to their parishioners.
Yeah, but
I
I'm
don't think-
simplifying it. I'm saying that it's simple. You would just say, dropping a flyer in the grocery store doesn't matter. But you'd be surprised how these older people see these flyers and these free magazines and stuff, and they see the actual literature, and they now have knowledge that we exist, or, you know what I'm saying? There's the simple thing. The computer and the Zoom is a given. You know, everybody that has a computer, but there are people that, believe it or not, can't get on computers.
Yeah, good point, Billy.
Good point.
I hadn't thought about it because my own thought about flyers in stores is that if somebody takes it, they then throw it away in the garbage. But if we only hit one person out of 100 and we hit that 10,000 people, well, that's 100 people. So Billy, I think it's a good point and we'll follow up on it.
Okay.
Thanks, Billy.
Anything else, Maura?
Not that I see.
Or anybody else? Okay, so what we believe has been sorely missing from all of the calls and the Zoom calls, and your head could be spinning with the data and all the other stuff that's spoken about over and over and over again. But what has been missing from this are the action steps. People are on the phone and they go, that's a good idea, that's a good idea. But unless you take that idea and you go with it, it's a waste of time and you just wasted an hour of my life. So what we are going to be doing with each one of our calls is ending up with what are the steps that everybody needs to take. And what are the steps, and taking all of these steps and saying, and what are you going to share with your family and friends so they can take the same steps? So fortunately for us, New York City Fair has put out a petition. Now, the New York City Fair are the ones that organize the rally. They have I always forget, it's LIAAND or something on the Long Island affiliate. So they're the Long Island partner. So they put out a petition. That petition is now on our website. If you go on CP Nassau, the petition says SOS, New York City Fair and LIANDD, keep telling the governor SOS. It's going to be right there on top. So you go on cpnassau.org, you find the petition, and all you need to do is add your data and you sign it. When I go on, I do not use my work email. I use my personal email because I want them to know it's from the community. I personally don't think that if it's a staff person has the same vote. So I just tell them I'm from the community, which I am. So I use my personal email. Now there's also a link there if you want to make a donation. You do not have to. But it's interesting that the donations are scrolled across the people that have made a donation. I couldn't see everybody, but I happened to see Stan was on it and Delia Paranis' name there of $25. So when I wanted to make a $25 donation myself, but somehow it came up in euros, not dollars. So in case it happens to anybody else, 68 euros is $25. I did the conversion, so I donated 68 euros and PayPal converted it to me and that was $25. But you do not have to make a donation. You do not have to make a donation. It takes less than 5 minutes, the petition. Now to Billy's point, what we're going to do with that petition is we've got a 15,000 mailing list, 15,000 person mailing list. We're going to send it out to everybody. So, and you get it, tell all your family and friends. Put it on your Facebook, put it on your social media, put it on Instagram, put it on Twitter, whatever you need to do to get that out. It takes 2 minutes to do. So that's the number one, it's the petition. So Lisa said she did it and donated also. I said, I didn't see all the names. Those two, Paranis was on it, jumped out at me. I didn't see McQuarrie, so.
Karen, I can't type fast enough, but I got an email from NYC Fair, and they said to sign the petition, but not to make a donation because it goes to the petition website and not anything to do with people with disabilities. So
Really? Who told you that, Kevin?
You would want to know that.
Who told you that, Kevin?
NYC Fair's email.
All right, so I will, all right, so nobody make any donations until we get back to you. Thank you, Kevin. I will contact Ellie Rufo, who I've been in contact with, and get the scoop and pass that information on, okay? Okay, so the petition is number one, takes 2 minutes. The second one is something, it's a website that CP State sent out. And that is also on our website, CP Nassau. You go on the website and it's up on top, and the top of it says, Stop Harmful Cuts. When you click on that, you add in your information, and your information is your name, your email address, and your zip code. Then they ask you your street address. After that, the website is populated for you. So it's got Schumer, Gillibrand, Rice, it's got your local representatives, and it's got Cuomo. It's all there. You don't have to look at anything. There's a letter that's also right there. The letter is excellent. The only thing that you need to change on the letter, and it gives you the options on top, is you introduce yourself. Hello, I am whatever. I wrote, hello, I'm a New York State resident and an advocate for people with disabilities. But you can write, I'm a parent, I'm a self-advocate, you just describe yourself. Other than that, you don't have to change a thing. And on the bottom, it says send message. You hit send message, it's done. I have gotten personal emails, not form letters, from, I got a personal email from Senator Kaminsky. I don't believe it's from him personally, but he's got a staffer that's writing back to say, I hear what you're saying. We're fighting for people with developmental disabilities. New York State should not be saving their budget based on the backs of individuals with disabilities. It's personal, it wasn't a form. So those are the two things that we're going to be asking everybody to not only do, but to share. The petition, SOS, right on the website, it says SOS, and the other one is Stop Harmful Cuts. So there's two things right on the top of our website. Mary Brodsky took all the stuff off from past stuff and put those two things right up on top. So if you do that and we share that, that could, and we had a conversation this morning on the CP State call for every exec to be doing the same thing. But that is going to be Bob's job in following up with at Cooperstown with the CP execs, because if everybody does that, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of people with the same message to the same people.
Now, Karen, I'm sorry, you didn't mention that we can do that every 24 hours.
Yes, thank you so much.
Oh, okay.
So the note that went out, I tried to do it immediately afterwards and it wouldn't let me. I tried periodically and it wouldn't let me. But after 24 hours, it let me do it again. So my advice to everybody, wake up, grab your cell phone and hit send. Okay, Kathy Quinn's got it up. So, okay. So every 24 hours, pick a time of the day. When you take your meds, you have your first cup of coffee, whatever it is, grab the phone, make it a habit, a good habit, not smoking or drinking, but make it a good habit. And just, you open it up and then your information's already there. I did not have to put in any more information. My legislators are there. You hit send message and it goes out. We're not asking you to compose. We're not asking, it's so simple to do. There's also an ability to call. So answering Kevin's point before, the letter is short enough to go to Cuomo also, so it doesn't get kicked back. If you happen to be very verbose and you want to edit that letter, at one point it will tell you you've exceeded Cuomo's quota. So it'll let you know that there's a quota on the letters that he will accept. Any questions on that? For the people that have done it, how easy, difficult, feedback?
Easy.
Who said, Kathy Quinn? It was easy?
Easy, just did it.
Oh, okay, so Kathy just did it.
So
Anybody else?
easy, so easy. It takes 2 seconds.
Okay, Lisa's saying it's so easy.
So
Yeah.
easy.
Okay.
This morning.
Andrea, you did it this
Yep.
morning? Okay.
Yes.
Hello,
Yes.
I just wanted to ask, I need some help with doing that. I want, this is Pat Dacus. On my iPhone, I want to know, how do I do that to the governor? I've already sent to, and I keep sending to representatives, but what site do I go on in order to do that?
Okay, Pat, let me give you a call after this.
Oh,
Okay,
thank you.
so I can
Oh,
know
thank you
exactly
so
where
much.
you're getting
Okay,
from.
great. Thank you. Bye.
Anybody else did it and feedback? Well, I know Stan and Delia did it. How was it? You're shrugging. Delia shrugging. Okay. Sega was easy. Okay. All right. So that's what we're going to do next. We have a-
It was very easy. I did get this information, and I will do this as the new information
Okay.
for RCP. That will be done.
Okay, thanks. We thought it might be easier to put it on our website because
Absolutely.
we're going to be, if you go to the website, when the letters get updated, as new things change now with these cuts in, they're gonna write a new letter. So don't think you're always sending the same letter over and over again. They're going to update the letters as our life changes. So if you just open up the website, you can get it done. Yes, Trish?
I did this yesterday because some reason I do get emails from New York City Fair, and where you can donate, it says if you can't donate, will you share? And you could send it to other people so they could send it. Yeah.
Correct. Yes, anybody that went on the rally is going to get it directly. Patricia, you went to the global rally, so you're going to get that. Lisa, you probably got it also.
Yes, I did, but I think Kevin was right. I think that share might come from the parent company, which is change.org. I think we might want to look into that, the share and the donation.
I am absolutely going to look into that, Lisa.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, I donated anyway, but you know, I think it goes to the parent company.
Okay.
But you could still share the petition, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, please share both and have everybody just to add on, to send a letter. Again, you can explain to them it'd take you less than 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes the first time and less than 2 minutes every 24 hours.
Yeah, definitely.
So apparently, Lisa is very concerned that she'd be able to come back to program when she moves. She's moving into the East Meadow House.
Okay, Lisa, we'll talk to you offline about that, okay?
I have another question. When you were talking about people in their parishes speaking, are you just talking about the people that live, the parishes around Roosevelt?
No,
Or people's parishes?
Everywhere.
no, Nassau County.
Okay.
And so any of you who are on this Zoom, you're active in your religious grouping, and you feel you could either give us an introduction, or you'd like to be the straw that stirs the drink, then we'll talk further, and we'll work together.
But who would actually be speaking?
It would
You?
depend on. It would depend. I think that we have a lot of very good spokespeople that are active in their own churches that would be better than me in many cases, or I would join them should that be okay. So it's going to be a different approach depending on the introduction and the willingness to hear us. But again, we know of people in our agency that are strong in their religious groups, and I think they would be listened to better than a stranger like me walking in and speaking.
Right. We also thought, as Bob mentioned before, that our very own Jose Rivera, who has lived it and saw his brother in Willowbrook live through that transformation and is working now in the field with his dedication, is incredibly passionate and has a historical knowledge that none of us have. So he would also be a spokesperson that would be going out and speaking to the community.
I'm gonna ask my sister, because she's really active in her church in East Rockaway, St. Raymond's, and that's where Noel and I go. So a lot of the parishioners know us.
That'd be perfect.
I'm gonna ask her, and we know the pastor.
That's wonderful.
Okay, and I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Other comments, more, anything going up on the chat? Not at the moment?
Just that Lisa wants Karen to come downstairs to room 3.
Okay. I really can't come down to room 3, but I will work with Wakina and set up something that we can talk. Okay?
You know, for those of you, many of you know, I mean, this is a weird moment. We can't walk around our own building. We have to wait for it to be empty before we can walk around. What's the point of walking around an empty building?
Or
So-
Sharon comes up to meetings and she has to go out of the building, get signed in again, get a temperature check, and to come upstairs again, and then do the same thing in reverse. So it is a crazy time. I was just in a store looking at costumes that I usually wear something when the kids do trick-or-treating. I realized that not gonna be trick-or-treating in our area anymore. And I'm not dressing up for Bob. So save some money on costume.
How do you ever want a costume? What's wrong?
But having visits in the area of our residents and having petitions set aside. Yeah, everything is worth looking into, Mary. Everything is worth looking into.
And the struggle will be, and I'm not saying it's so we shouldn't do it, will be how do we comprise a message that's concise, that's informative, and short enough that somebody will read it. Get something.
You know, one of the things that I've heard, and we've all been in this situation, you get up, you listen, you put on the radio in the morning, you hear about the nurses are not getting funded, and this group is underpaid, and this group. They're all horror stories, and they're all, you want to help everyone or not, but you got to focus in on what's important to you. You know, Trish is saying that she's part of St. Raymond's, and people know her and her daughter. There's an in. There's somebody that people might connect to. So we, as Bob said, we have many people that work in the community that are part of service organizations like Kiwanis or Knights of Columbus or the Elks. So that's really, we want to start with those organizations so that we feel like we have an in. And at least somebody's talking that they know, so they'll pay attention.
Somebody's asking if we get more money if the participants attend the program in person.
No, but on October 14th, we will be reverting back to 4 hours being a full day and not 2. So that will be a struggle for Sharon and her troops to maintain the numbers that we're working and work very hard to build up to. But we will.
Yes, I wanted to just add, we don't get paid extra if someone comes to program in person. However, it is that 4-hour issue. So if you're going to stay on and get programmed through Zoom, you have to be on Zoom for 4 hours in order for us to get the full day billing as we would get if you did come to program.
Just to be clear, that it's 2 hours now, but on October 14th, we'll revert back to 4 hours. Correct, Sharon?
Yes, it's been 2 hours for a month a month and a half now, and on October 14th that will go.
And I think Sharon's point is if somebody is in here, we're able to ensure that they're 4 hours versus Zoom call, people go off, they come back, they forget to log back in. It's not as clear cut when they're in the building.
Exactly, that's the difference.
Celia?
Yeah. I believe that, yeah.
Hello?
You're on mute, Delia.
Celia, you just muted
You
yourself.
muted yourself, Delia.
Okay.
All right. I would think that the residences would not have a problem with the 4 hours because you have managers and you have staff there that can make sure that they're on those hours.
You know, yeah, but it's still for some people, 4 hours on a Zoom is a long time.
Yes, it is.
And they choose
It
not
is.
to. And sometimes they just choose not to.
Well, it depends if it's interesting enough. I know with my own child, if it's not interesting, she'll just say, I'm not gonna do it. So, you know, we need to amp up. I know that, you know.
No
cooking
pressure, Ms.
is always
Melissa
good.
and Nadine and Joaquin.
No pressure.
You're right, Delia, though. You're right. For the most part, the Zoom programs within the houses in our residential program is full day. I'm talking about people who are living, you know, at home with their families, and could be a hardship keeping them on for 4 hours. So you're right.
But that's our challenge, you know, as of October 14th.
Talk to the parents then.
That's the next challenge.
We're trying. We started out with 96 people, we're down to 90, so.
Get up to 96.
Karen, Bob?
Yes, okay.
Just wanted to, first of all, good morning, everybody.
Stand up.
Good morning.
Just wanted to take a moment, share with the group some of the comments that were made by the then governor, Hugh Carey, who was the governor who kind of signed on to the whole Willowbrook lawsuit. It occurred during his tenure as governor. And in some of his statements, he talked about, and it's ironic when I was reading this morning, and I'm going to quote, this financial commitment, that he's talking about the commitment that the government, state of New York, was making to people at that time who were considered Willowbrook class clients who were now preparing to leave the institutions. And so the governor was recognizing on behalf of the state its obligation. So I'm reading, he goes on to say, this financial commitment was made despite the fact that our state faced some of its most severe financial crises in 1975 and 1976. So I thought how appropriate that we're currently undergoing a financial crisis in many ways as well. And part of what the current governor Cuomo is using as a reason to scale back the funds that our individuals, our service delivery structure requires. Governor Carey went on to say, it is a source of personal pride for me and a credit to, he references a lady by the name of Ms. Connolly and our legislative leaders, that we did not place the burden of these financial constraints on the excuse the phraseology, the mentally retarded. That was the language in use at the time, who are the most vulnerable of our fellow citizens.
Jose, would you agree that the only reason why Carey made that political statement was because he was part of the lawsuit, and he was the governor when the cuts occurred to Willowbrook?
Yes.
So just as he then made a decision to reverse his financial distribution, the lawsuit is what got him to do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. He went on to say, but we must keep in mind that the state cannot do this job alone. We can only achieve our goals, strengthen the partnership between the state and the voluntary sector. I am here today to renew our commitment so that the partnership and to tell you that the Senate will continue to carry out its share. In here, he goes further on to say the partnership is really between not just the state, it's the voluntaries, it's the parents, it's the communities, it's the lawyers, it's all of those who were involved in this revolutionary change. And I think the message that needs to be carried out today is that same sort of partnership is what's lacking in our effort, and what we need to revive in an effort to achieve what was achieved back then. So I think that's certainly something I want to share with the group.
Can that language be provided to the attorneys for this new lawsuit?
I have it here, so yes.
Okay.
It's a matter of public record, but I certainly retrieved it from my archives.
Ropes and gray. Ropes and gray.
Bob, guys, I needed to be reminded by Karen. The law firm is Ropes and Gray, and they are supposedly the preeminent law firm on healthcare issues in New York State. So they are not cheap, but they're also not experienced. They're not inexperienced.
There's somebody with their hand up, Sylvia.
Hello, everyone.
Hi,
I have a question about participating in Zoom. Salvatore, and I'm sure others, have aides in the home. Can he participate with Zoom while the aide is in the home, or is it like double dipping?
Oh.
No, he can participate, but we can't bill.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah,
it's terrible. That's
Yeah,
what
I just said it. It's nonsense, but it's true.
Okay. Okay. I wanted to double check.
Fair question.
Okay.
Good question.
Salvador can participate if you felt he would benefit from some or all of it.
Okay. There might be some, Teresa forwards the schedule, so there are things that he might be interested in. I just didn't know if he was allowed to, and I really didn't want to take advantage, so.
Excuse me, I did ask if they could, I have an aide in the home also, and I asked the agency and they said that it was no problem. So I guess it depends on the agency.
Actually, it's not an agency decision, Nancy. It's a Medicaid decision.
Oh.
We're not allowed to, you cannot bill Medicaid for the same hours. If you had an aide in the morning and we did the Zoom in the afternoon, that would be fine. But you cannot bill Medicaid for the same hours. That's not our decision. That is a Medicaid rule.
Yeah, double billing.
So Nancy, you were referring as agency, you were referring the agency that sends the aid?
Yes.
So again, as what Karen just said, and I know some families are working with Sharon and if the aide comes in at 1 in the afternoon, then that person could participate in the morning. If the aide comes in the morning and leaves at 2 in the afternoon, the individual could participate after that. So it's a matter of juggling if it works.
I just want to say that I did reach out to Barbara Crozier, who is works with CP State and does a lot of the legislative stuff. And I don't know exactly what else, but I did ask her to look further into that issue because it does seem ridiculous that individuals on Zoom at home need assistance to get on Zoom. And so why would that be? I mean, it's two different services being provided. The aide is helping them get on and we're providing the service. And so far we've been shut down completely. Absolutely no, we cannot do it. She is looking into it further. I don't exactly know with whom. She recently sent me an email, but at this moment, she also brought it to Mike Alvaro and they brought it to OPWDD and we've been shut down. Absolutely not. We cannot do it at this moment.
That has been an historical issue. We've had individuals that have been in a children's program and have had nursing. And you can have a nurse through Medicaid in a children's program because that's a school district is paying for that. It's state ed and then it's Medicaid. So that's different. But once that young adult moved into the adult world and Medicaid was paying for the day program, the nurse was not able to attend. So we fought that too. And you could say the same thing, two different services. You have a nurse there that's there in case they have seizures or suctioning or whatever. And then you've got the adult day program. It's still seen as two Medicaid bills at the same time.
Unless you're paying for that aid out of your pocket. That would be the only way it would be acceptable. If you're paying for the aid in your home out of your pocket or a nurse in your home out of your pocket, then it would be acceptable.
Or if your insurance was covering it, same as the nurse. If the nurse was being paid for with your private insurance, then the person would come to the adult services. The bottom line is no two Medicaid services can occur at the same time. Somebody's going to get kicked back and somebody's going to get in trouble. Jose Rivera would never let us do that.
Again, make it clear that people can participate in the Zoom. It's just a billing issue.
Yeah, absolutely. I said to Sylvia, Salvador can participate. We just can't bill.
Right.
That's kind of interesting because we can't certainly feed people through Zoom or take them to the bathroom through Zoom.
Absolutely.
Nobody said it made sense, Maura.
No, I know.
Veronica?
Wait, I had to unmute. So what happens like in like Chris's house where there is, aides 24 hours? Still, they wouldn't get paid?
No, no.
No. I got lost.
You know,
Did you hear me?
I'm doing a homina here.
In a house that has an aide 24 hours, what happens then? Like at Zoom, you still don't get paid?
No, you know what? I need to think that through. He's living in his own residence.
Right, okay.
I need to think that through.
Okay.
There's got to be some kind of a loophole. He's in his own
Right.
home. He's paying.
Just something to think about.
He's paying rent through the grant. And he has a home health aide, 24/7. We need to look into that.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
So where it's acceptable in IRAs and ICFs at this point. That was clear. And so that's a little bit different. And so it's something that no one thought about.
But it's our day program that's providing the services in the IRAs that are collecting the data.
Yes, but we're still able to do it even though they have staff there. It's not considered double billing.
Oh, absolutely.
That's not
Absolutely.
considered double.
That's part of the Appendix K. That was part of a temporary reprieve that we got through.
But Chris's home is not an IRA. That's the difference. And we didn't think about that. You're right.
Well,
It doesn't mean it can't, we just have to look into it.
Right.
Right, but aren't the services separate in some ways? Because the Zoom is a program as opposed to the health and well-being care, feeding, bathroom. That, Charlie doesn't have an aide from the center here helping him. He needs an aide working with him here.
So Mary, you're asking a very logical, laying out a very reasonable, citing how asinine.
You gotta stop doing that.
We agree, Mary, we agree.
Okay.
Any other questions, guys?
So we moved this session to Friday because we were working on the letter that we wanted to get out to you. And we knew that we were going to do the layoffs. I didn't want to be meeting with you on Tuesday, knowing what we were going to do on Wednesday and not being forthright. Letting people go who've done nothing wrong is an extraordinarily difficult thing to do. And we could all say unfair, unjust, and all that would be true. Our goal is to be managing the organization so that we can sustain ourselves again through this storm and come out the other side. We'll continue to do that. And hopefully we're through the reducing of our staffing.
So can I just, so I just received an email from Ellie Rufer. Thank you very much, Kevin and Lisa, for bringing this up. Not to donate to change.org, that New York City Fairs does get some monies from it, but they take a long time to deliver and take out a larger chunk for themselves than other platforms. So Darren, can you make a note of that just needs to be part of all of our correspondence going out? That people should not be making a donation. They will get some of it, but they're a long time to deliver and they don't get all of it.
Terrible, terrible.
So I've reported every time at the end, besides thanking everyone for participating and your interest in being involved and the questions that are posed. It's all a valuable part of our network and our learning about the iWave, and we are complete. I may have mentioned that the last session, I'm not sure, but all of our homes are now have either in their HVAC or with portable iWave have the same protection as our Oceanside and Bayville and here. And we've raised, this week, another couple $100 came in. It's not coming in the volume it did, but still we've raised over $190,000. We are now also finishing a grant to FEMA, asking for them to pay for our PPEs. And so some of what we're doing, the FEMA does not pay for capital, so the big cost of this would not be able to be switched. But in addition to FEMA, we're looking at other grants, and if they were to come in with other grants that paid for what we've done with the iWave, almost all of the contributions that we've received have given us the flexibility to use it for the iWave, and if that got paid for, we could use it somewhere else. I'll continue to report. Right now, we already used it to pay for the iWave.
Good.
So thank you. And as I've also said at the end of every session, for those of you who might have a check sitting on your piano or your desk or your kitchen table that you intended to send, we're still accepting donations. So.
Lisa McElreevy said, thank you for your passion and continued hard work in advocating for our family members.
I'm coming right down.
Thank you, Lisa. Look.
You're not on mute, Mary.
I look around at the faces and I see some people that I've known for my entire career at CP Nassau, which is now greater than 38 years, and others that have been involved for years and years and years and years. I don't think you would be here if you didn't have passion. That goes to each and every person that's on the Zoom. So it's a shared thank you. And a goodbye, I think.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.
Be safe.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.